A man will ejaculate, on average, 7,200 times during his lifetime. The average number of times he will ejaculate from masturbation is 2,000. The average speed of ejaculation is 28 miles per hour. King Fadi of Tonga most likely has the penis with the most action. He supposedly deflowered 37,800 women from 1770 to 1784, or about 7 women a day. There is a penis museum in Iceland. According to condom manufacturers, only 6% of the world's population of men needs an extra-large size condom. The human penis is larger than that of any other primate, both in terms of proportion to body size and in absolute terms. Only 1 man in 400 is flexible enough to give himself oral sex. Men get erections while sleeping. Ever wonder why you often wake up with an erection? Morning wood, as it's known, is an extremely common phenomenon. It's also an excellent overall indicator of sexual health. Sometimes called nocturnal penile tumescence, these spontaneous erections during sleep happen 3 to 5 times a night on average. Nighttime erections seem to pop up during the rapid eye movement, REM, phase of the sleep cycle, when you're most likely to dream vividly. So, no, there's nothing wrong with getting hard at night, or waking up hard. Frequently rousing without an erection could signal an underlying health issue that's causing ED. If you haven't had morning wood at all lately, you might want to mention it to your healthcare provider. Erections start early in life, sometimes before birth. How early do you think you started getting hard? Chances are, you probably don't remember your first erection. You might not have even been born. While most of us associate erections with adolescence and adulthood, they can actually start in the early years of every guy's life. Some data even indicates that erections and other signs of sexuality occur in the womb. Contrary to popular belief, the penis isn't a muscle. Is your penis a muscle? Nope. While penis-strengthening products may sound promising, they're missing a key piece of information: the penis is not a muscle. Yes, there's smooth muscle in the blood vessels that make your penis function, but they operate by dilating to increase blood flow. You need to get hard. That said, exercising the pelvic floor muscles might help to enhance your sexual performance. Yes, you can break your penis. Your penis isn't a muscle. It's also not a bone. But penile fractures? Sadly, they're a risk you've got to be wary of. One of the harshest facts about the penis is that if it twists or bends too severely, the corpora cavernosa, penile tissue chambers, can burst, with a tear in the tunica albuginea, and cause blood to flow into the other tissue of the penis. This erectile tissue damage can lead to serious pain and swelling. Reports of broken penises are rare, but they can happen. Repeated injuries to the penis could result in scar tissue, which is thought to contribute to a condition called Peyronie's disease, a bend or curve in the penis. The growers versus showers phenomenon is real. The argument over whether it's better to be a grower, smaller penis that gets bigger when erect, or a shower, one that's already reasonably big when flaccid and doesn't enlarge all that much when erect, has a long history. We're not here to say what's better. But a study from 2018 observed 274 patients measuring flaccid length and erect length, and found that there are actually growers and showers. 74% were showers, and the rest were growers. Shoe size doesn't correlate to penis size. Does shoe size predict a man's penis size? Not really. A 2002 study, with an admittedly small sample group, found that there was no correlation between men's penis size and foot size. In other words, a large shoe doesn't equal a large penis. Penis shrinkage is real. As for penis shrinkage, it's real too. Although it's not exactly coming from that cold pool or a lack of hot water in the shower. Treatments for prostate cancer and other conditions can, over time, lead to shrinkage of the penis, especially when hormones are compromised. We're not filing this one under fun facts about penises, but it's true. Atrophy, spinal cord injury, and other causes of a permanently flaccid penis can also lead to shrinkage. This is sometimes avoidable with proper treatment and hormone replacement. Most men aren't circumcised. Circumcision, as you may or may not know, is the process of removing the foreskin from the male organ. This exposes the glands, head of the penis, and, according to absolutely no real science, makes it look bigger-ish. Male circumcision is common in some places like the US, but worldwide, it's not. A majority of American men are circumcised, while being uncircumcised is the norm in most other countries. Some studies claim health benefits of circumcision, but it's still a very personal choice. The average erect penis is 5.2 to 5.6 inches. If you're measuring your penis, you might be wondering how you compare to the average penis size. Several studies show that the average erect penis size is 5 to 6 inches in length. For instance, a 2014 study published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine sampled 1,661 men. It found an average length of about 5.6 inches. But the participants measured themselves, so the data may not be perfectly accurate. A separate review published in the Journal of Sex Marital Therapy looked at used data from over 15,000 men. It reached a slightly lower average of 5.2 inches. Penises are longer than what meets the eye. Here's a fun penis fact for you: a substantial portion, roughly half, of the overall length is essentially tucked up inside the body, attached to the pubic bone within the pelvis. This is why some people say the penis is actually twice as long as it looks. But when we talk about average penis size, we tend to mean what's visible on the outside. Corn flakes were invented to prevent masturbation. Did you know Kellogg's Corn Flakes were originally made by a doctor with the goal of deterring men from masturbating? The ill-advised idea behind this masturbation prevention invention, say that 3 times fast, was that bland foods wouldn't stimulate the mind and lead to self-pleasure. We probably don't need to tell you that this breakfast cereal doesn't do much more than provide fortified nutrients and a decent portion of your recommended daily carbs. Erectile dysfunction affects young men too. People often think of erectile dysfunction as something that mostly affects older men, particularly those in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. But while ED is more common in the older set, it can, and does, affect men of all ages. Although younger guys have a lower risk of developing ED, it's still fairly common. A 2013 study found that 1 out of every 4 patients seeking treatment for new-onset ED was under 40. You don't need to have an erection to orgasm. Many folks associate male orgasm and ejaculation with erections, but you don't actually need to be erect to have an orgasm. Plenty of men with erectile dysfunction can orgasm without being erect or using medications like Viagra to treat their ED. Anyone who's ever used toys like vibrators and prostate stimulators already knows this. If you're curious, this might be a great time to do some research of your own. Having ED doesn't mean you can't ever get hard. Having ED doesn't necessarily mean you never get hard. Erectile dysfunction is defined as difficulty developing or maintaining an erection firm enough for satisfactory sexual intercourse. This means ED could involve getting an erection but failing to keep it during sex, or just struggling to get hard due to performance anxiety. Lots of guys with ED might find it easy to get an erection in some circumstances, but not in others. Some men, for example, might get ED when they're feeling stressed but have no issues getting an erection when they're in the right mood. Sexual performance anxiety is common, and it can take a toll on your erections. Ever feel anxious before sex? Feeling nervous about your sexual performance can make it harder to get and maintain erections. Known as sexual performance anxiety, this can happen when you're worried about pleasing your partner, self-conscious about how long you last, or having sex with a new person. In a 2019 review of existing literature, researchers found that sexual performance anxiety may affect as many as 25% of men. Luckily, it's treatable with ED medications like sildenafil, generic Viagra, or through things like cognitive behavioral therapy, mindfulness meditation, etc. Alcohol, smoking, and drug use can all contribute to ED. Not-so-healthy lifestyle choices like drinking alcohol frequently, smoking cigarettes, and using illicit drugs can contribute to a range of sexual performance issues. Beyond the numerous other health risks associated with cigarettes, smoking can constrict blood vessels, making it harder for blood to flow to the penis. In a 2015 review, researchers found that smokers have an elevated risk of developing ED. Likewise, consuming too much alcohol can affect a man sexually. In a study from 2007, 72% of alcohol-dependent male participants had one or more sexual dysfunctions, such as ED, low sexual desire, or premature ejaculation, PE. FYI, drinking too much alcohol could also make medications like Viagra less effective. ED can signal a more serious health issue. While erectile dysfunction itself isn't a dangerous health condition, it can be a sign of an underlying medical condition. ED is common in men with cardiovascular health conditions, including heart disease. It's also closely associated with type 2 diabetes, which can cause damage to the nerves and blood vessels that supply penile tissues. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean you're unhealthy if you occasionally find it difficult to get and stay hard during sex. However, if it happens often, it might be a sign that something isn't right. If you think you might have ED or another condition that causes it, it's best to see your healthcare provider. A simple medical exam can often help identify the root cause of erectile dysfunction, making it easier to improve your sexual performance and overall health. Some ED medications last an entire weekend. Viagra, the ultra-popular little blue pill that came to market in the 90s, is the most well-known ED treatment. But it's definitely not the only medication available for improving sexual performance in men. Other ED meds can make it easier to get an erection for significantly longer. Cialis, known as the weekend pill, is the longest lasting. Cialis contains an active ingredient called tadalafil, which lasts up to 36 hours. This means if you take one tablet on Saturday, it'll continue working until Sunday night. Cialis, Levitra, Vardenafil, and newcomer Stendra, Avanafil, also treat ED. These newer meds tend to have longer-lasting effects and fewer side effects than the original little blue pill. The vibrator was originally invented in the 19th century as a way to reduce hysteria. That seems a little extreme. However, we do not recommend testing that theory by taking away a woman's vibrator to see if she goes into a hysterical fit. That's just dangerous. The sperm ratio. Your average healthy man produces approximately 300 million sperm in just a teaspoon of his semen. However, it only takes one little swimmer to fertilize a woman's egg and it can live for up to a week inside your body. The first thing people do after sex is forget postcoital cuddling. According to a poll by consumer electronics site retiarivo.com, 36% of people under the age of 35 check their Facebook and Twitter accounts after a roll in the hay. Hopefully, they are not posting any pictures. Which sex actually gets busy more often? Think men get laid more than women? Wrong. According to Men's Fitness, women have sex 17% more often than the average guy. Go girls! The longest orgasm ever. Even though the male O seems to get all the attention, it turns out the vagina owners get the last laugh when it comes to climaxing. The average orgasm for people with vaginas lasts 20 seconds, 14 seconds longer than the male's 6-second O. Orgasms are good for you. Orgasms are good for your health. They can lower a woman's risk of heart disease, stroke, breast cancer, and even depression. So have sex and get happy. Sexercise is not a myth. Sex counts as a workout. During 30 minutes of active sex, you burn about 200 calories. And you can even have an orgasm while working out. Sperm is a natural antidepressant. According to a study conducted on 293 female college students at the State University of New York in Albany, exposure to semen can lower symptoms of depression. And it's mighty healthy. 1 teaspoon of semen contains over 200 proteins and several helpful vitamins and minerals including vitamin C, calcium, chlorine, citric acid, fructose, lactic acid, magnesium, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, sodium, vitamin B12 and zinc. Sex makes you dirty, but, like, in a good way. When aroused, people are not as likely to think things are disgusting, according to a study published in the online journal PLOS One. Your brain responds to sex in all kinds of different ways. Researchers at Rutgers University, who used fMRI scanners to find out exactly what happens in your brain when you're aroused, found that different regions of the brain became activated in response to stimulation of the vagina, cervix, clitoris, and nipples.